everyone, I'm Kaitlin.
And I'm Jillian.
And we are the hosts of the OK Drama podcast.
We're two friends who break down and recap K-dramas one episode at a time.
We're back!
Yay!
I hope y'all enjoyed our Romance as a Bonus Book recap with our boys. Yes, those are always fun.
Mm-hmm. But
today we are going to be having, I guess, more of a casual conversation about...
Kind of a special episode.
Yes. I guess we can talk about this now. We're going to go on a mini break.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Korea.
Yay!
Jill is recovering from a bunch of art stuff that she's had to do, so we're not going to have an episode for the next 2 weeks, but I am going to be working on a vlog of our Korea trip. So make sure you are following us on Twitter and Instagram, and you could subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to.
We'll use that again.
Yeah. And so look out for that, because I'm very excited, and it should be a good time. So, yeah, this is just kind of a little, I guess, buffer up. Mm-hmm. We watched the Netflix, I guess, short film anthology, is what people are calling it online, Persona. And it was very different.
Very interesting.
I had no idea what to expect, because I had read that it was going to... I read what it was. You know, how it was 4 short films from 4 different, you know, critically acclaimed directors. But I didn't really know what that meant.
Yeah.
And
if they were all connected or what
yeah,
happening.
And I had read, like, oh, it kind of explores, like, 4 different characters and, you know, 4 different, like, parts of a personality and stuff. And I was like, okay. But it was nothing like I expected. What about you?
I went in with 0 expectations, and I was just like, what? What's happening?
Yeah, I also didn't have a lot of expectations either, but I was just like, but it still wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. And I consider myself to be, like, a pretty open-minded, I guess kind of artistic. I appreciate the arts. And I enjoyed some of them, but I was like, but also at the same time, it was like, what am I watching?
What's going on?
Am I dumb? And I told Alex, like, I think what's even more tricky is that, like, there's the language barrier on top of them being, like, artistic pieces. So it's like, okay, are the subtitles working / do I understand what they're trying to say?
Yeah.
So, I guess, without further ado, let's talk about the first one.
Okay.
The first short film is called Love Set, and this was directed by Lee Kyung-mi.
And the synopsis says, 2 women get entangled in an intense battle of wills on the tennis court and try to pummel one another, but the stakes are higher than they realize.
So, yeah. Oh, I guess we should also say that the, if you hadn't heard about it, the lead actress is the same in all 4, and she is, or the actress is IU, who's also a pop singer.
Cool.
So, anyway, so the actress is the same, and in all 4, she plays a young woman. Either, I think in at least one of them, she plays kind of like a high school student. We don't know how old she is in Love Set, but she seems
young.
If not high school, maybe early
Just
college.
out,
yeah. So she seems young. And in this one, she, there are 4 people at the tennis court. There's IU. There is an slightly older woman, Doona, who is not Tuna, who is her English teacher, her father, and this white guy, who is not her boyfriend. And so we cut to her. Or I guess the opening shot is her, like, sitting on the bench, right?
Yeah, eating a peach.
Yeah.
And that kind of grossed me out because, like, just constant mouth noises.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, the sucking. And it's, like, real close to her mouth. It's like, no, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, and she was, like, ferociously eating this peach. And you just hear these, like, tennis noises, but that were, like, pretty sexualized,
yes,
I think.
That's what I was telling Andrew. Like, this whole episode was, like, very sexualized. Like, the sound and the shots, like... Throughout, there's shots of, like, thighs moving, like, close up and slow down.
Let's get into it. Like, let's just skip over the whole thing.
Okay.
Because, so, okay, I guess we could rewind slightly. So, the premise of the of it is Doona and IU are in a very intense tennis match because IU tells Doona, don't marry my dad. Because Doona and her dad are dating, I guess. And Doona says, if you win, I'll call things off with your dad. If I win, you call things off with your dad. Which I didn't really know what that meant.
Yeah.
I kind of took it to mean, like, stop trying to meddle.
Yeah.
Or, like, leave your dad alone kind of a thing. Like, stop, you know, being such a daddy's girl or whatever. But it ends, Doona's, like, a much better tennis player than IU.
Yeah.
So she beats her by a lot.
Hard to watch.
Yeah. Some stuff goes down, and at the end, Doona gives IU the tennis ball and says, I won't marry your dad. And that's kind of the end of it. But, so I was like, okay, there's obviously something deeper than that.
Yeah.
Then I read a review, or a comment on a review online, that was basically like, IU doesn't want Doona to marry her father because she's in love with Doona. Did you get that?
Well, I did see and notice the moment when she hands her the tennis ball and they kind of, like, rub fingers. Like, she rubs her hand a little bit. It's like, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, and so this person broke it down, and they were basically saying, like, the peach is a symbol of, like, female sexual whatever.
A vagina.
Yeah. There's the whole peach thing, and there's, like, the sexualized, like, tennis noises. And then there was the,
her being really angry, too, about that guy being called her boyfriend.
Right, yeah. And then there was, like, the shot of, like, the blood running down her leg, which is kind of like a, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, because some people were like, yeah, I think Doona, like, she's probably, like, the first person she had sex with. Which is, like, you know, a thing.
That's interesting. Father and daughter. Okay.
So I was like, oh. And they're like, that's why it makes more sense for it to be called Love Set, because not that IU is, like, getting in the way of her father's love, but, like, it's because she loves her.
Yeah.
And she's, like, fighting for her. So I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. It was an interesting 19 minutes.
Yeah. It was very repetitive.
Yeah.
But I really liked the way it looked.
Yeah, I loved her outfit specifically. I thought it was a cute little tennis outfit.
But I saw a bunch of people online being like, why is she wearing a sweater? Like, she's sweating.
I know, they were drenched in sweat. There was, like, close-ups of, like, their mouths and their necks and thighs and stuff. And the two men just sitting there, like, confused, but also, like, this young girl's bleeding at this point and, like, on the verge of passing out, and nobody thinks to, like, put a stop to it. Like, okay, let's take a break.
Yeah.
It got really intense.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So.
That was a weird one.
I know, that was Love Set.
That was Love Set.
I do think that's what it was about. Like, that they had some sort of, like, lesbian relationship with each other. But I think it was interesting that it seemed like Doona was, like, very in control of every situation.
And even, like, mocked her, too. When she was, like, cussing and saying fuck. And then she, like, did it back to her. Almost like when you're dating a child, you're dating someone a lot younger than you, and, like, this kid.
Yeah. Which is a good segue to the second episode.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
The second episode, I guess, was called Collector, and this was directed by Ian Peel-sung.
A befuddled man wants to know why a woman he's seeing disappeared to go traveling with her male friends, but she demands a gesture of true love.
I guess.
This one, I think, was the weirdest.
Definitely.
Out of all three.
Definitely.
I love this girl's outfit.
Yeah.
She looks very cute. I like her hair, too.
I do like her hair.
But yeah, basically this slightly older man is, like, having lunch or something. He meets a girl. I don't think they're having lunch at that point. Meets a girl and is asking her, like, where have you been? I haven't heard from you. Like, you haven't contacted me. And she's kind of, like, going around the question, not actually answering it.
Yeah.
Just kind of talking around him. And basically ends up saying that she went on vacation for a while with some friends. And he's like, were these male friends? And she straight up and says yes. Mm-hmm. And there's these moments of him, like, having a not a flashback, but, like, in his head. Mm-hmm. And he starts, like, daydreaming and thinking the worst, and, like, his head gets cut off. Mm-hmm. It's fucking weird.
I know, when that part happened, I was like, what am I watching? Is
this a horror movie?
Yes, I hate horror stuff. And so I literally had the blankets, like,
oh, God.
But that was, like, the only piece of, like, actual gore.
That in the end.
Well, yeah, but we don't really see...
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah. But I guess we kind of, like, go through and we see them, like, talking to each other. And a lot of the conversation is kind of boring to me, but it's basically this younger woman and this slightly older man have a relationship, and they're not on the same page, right? Like, she's very casual about it. Yeah. At one point, she leaves to go to the bathroom, but ends
after
up, like,
her phone was, like, going off.
Yeah, but ends up, like, kissing another guy. Mm-hmm. And he sees them, and he gets upset because we learn that he basically called off an engagement and threw part of his life away to be with this girl. Mm-hmm. And I kept wondering why it was called Collector.
Yeah.
But then...
At the end.
Yeah, after everything, he tells her, like, how could you be so rude? Mm-hmm. Like, I love you.
And I sacrificed a lot to be with you.
Yeah.
What else do I have to do?
Yeah, and she says, you keep saying you love me, but do you even know what love is? Like, she was like, prove that you love me. Like, take out your heart and, like, give it to me. Mm-hmm. And, of course, as one would normally think, like, oh, of course, like, metaphorically.
Yeah.
But no, like, at the end, he, like, unbuttons his shirt and, like, pulls out his beating heart.
And he's, like, crying and sweating, and he starts to look a little paler.
Yeah.
As the scene progresses.
Yeah, and he, like, puts the heart on the table, and she, like, looks thrilled, like, in a very creepy way.
It looks like she's about to eat it, too, at one point.
Yeah, well, and then she says, like, I'll salt it for you. I'll preserve it. And then she, like, puts it in a jar.
Asks what his name is.
Yes, which is terrible.
Oh my god.
And then she opens her, like, tote bag, and you see jars of other hearts in
probably
there.
The guys from that vacation.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And then he's sitting there, and there's the box that she gave him in the beginning and said, don't open this now, open it later. Like, this is a day you'll never forget. And this is the part where I was like, the fuck? And he, like, opens the box, and it's, like, mini him in that room that he was, like, daydreaming himself in, where all these weird scenarios were happening. It was very strange.
Yeah, so I guess...
What did you read on that one? Did you see
there wasn't a lot for me to read. Well, okay, I did read one review, and it was basically people think, like, it's just when you give too much of yourself, or basically how there are people who are so, like, entrancing and manipulative that you can end up giving all of yourself to one person who doesn't, like, care about you in the same way. But to me, that seemed like a little too on the nose. I don't know.
But this one is very unusual.
Because she also talks a lot about, like, meditation.
And yoga, and it shows her doing yoga earlier.
And, like, holding her breath and
underwater
stuff. So I really want these directors to come out with, like, some sort of commentary.
And I think there was, like, a scene where it's, like, a close-up of her eyes, right? And it, like, changes.
Yeah, they almost look like
cat eyes, or, like, some type of an animal.
Or, like, reptilian or something. So that's when I was like, is she an alien?
Yeah, especially, like, when he took out his heart and she was very excited about it. I was like, is she a vampire?
I know, I was like, is this bitch gonna eat this heart?
Yeah.
Like, I thought I thought that's what was gonna happen. But no, I was happy when she just put it in a jar.
She's gonna eat it later.
But
it was interesting.
It was really interesting.
That was, I think, the darker of the four.
Yeah, that was definitely the darkest. That one had the lowest reviews I had seen on a few. And all the reviews were, like, pretty good. They weren't outstanding, but they weren't bad. I think this one, like, a few websites I had seen, they had given, like, out of 5 stars, like 4s, 3.5s, and this one, I think, had a 3. So
I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't either. It was... All of these were very beautiful to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
They were all shot very well. It was just, it was just... I felt very uneasy the whole time because I don't know if it was the music or just, like, the way they acted. Like, I was like, this...
And also, like, their conversations, too, were just, like, very uncomfortable. Like, putting yourself in that situation, like, two people that are on completely different sides of things, like...
And he's so desperate. And I love that one point. She was like, can you just be cool? Like, can you please just be cool? I'm like, oh, God, that's so harsh.
And at one point, like, she's ready to just leave.
Yeah.
But he's the one that, like, keeps her there.
Yeah.
And that's when, like, he basically gives up his heart. Interesting. I wonder what would have happened had he let her just go.
Yeah. Fascinating. So if you have any theories, please email them in.
Absolutely.
Please do.
Goodness.
Okay. So moving on. I liked this third one, I think. I liked the third one and the fourth one the most, I think. The third one is called Kiss Burn by Jong Go-woon.
As she listens to her friend's tale about how the marks on her face are from making out with a guy, the two of them inadvertently cause mishap.
I don't really like that synopsis.
Yeah.
This one says it's a tale about friendship and revenge. So,
yeah, like,
combine
the kissing is just, like, the smallest part.
Yeah.
Of the whole story. Yeah,
so basically, IU plays a girl named Hana. I forget her friend's name. I think it's like Haibin or something like that.
Hi something.
Yeah. Anyway, she goes over to her friend's house, and her friend seems to have a maybe slightly abusive father. Because she's like, she's not here, you need to leave.
Yeah.
And she is a very nosy girl. She seems pretty smart, too. And so she is like, fuck you, and just kind of, like, hangs out. Also, they live in, like, a pretty remote-looking village.
Yeah, it looks very rural.
So, the dad is a forest fire lookout guy, and he leaves to go to work, I guess. And so she sneaks into the house, and she finds her friend. We see that her friend has hickeys, and I guess we can assume that the dad is abusive because Hana first thinks that the hickeys are from her dad.
Yeah, like,
not that they're hickeys.
Her. Yeah,
they're bruises.
Kissed her too hard tonight.
Yeah. But we also see that her dad got drunk and cut her hair.
And I'm wondering, like, if she came home with all of these marks and he found her and got really pissed off while drunk and was like, you're not going to be kissing anyone anymore. Like, cut off all of her hair, you know, like, to embarrass her. That's kind of how I took it. Like,
maybe, yeah.
You were out doing bad things. I'm going to make you not pretty.
Okay. I just took it as, like, oh, you need a haircut. Like, cause...
Yeah, I think he was trying to make her ugly.
Okay, let's go with that one.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
And also, like, she hasn't been in school, and that's why her friend is calling her.
That's true,
And I'm wondering, like, is she staying home because he doesn't want her to go to school because of the marks on her neck?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
And, like, embarrassing, and, like, this is my daughter, and...
That's true.
You know, like, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of how I took it.
Also, okay, so all of this leads to... They are trying to Home Alone style hurt her dad. It kind of just starts with them trying to, like, make him... Does it start with them trying to make him slip?
Yeah, they do, like, 3 different things. They put sesame oil on the entrance floor. They cut the part of a chair, the leg, but, have it placed just right.
And then they soap up,
the
bathroom.
Up the floor,
To make him, like, slip and fall. None of those work. So then they
use a candle.
Yeah, they put a bunch of wax.
On the floor. And then... that might have been the only thing they did that time. I thought it was, like, candle everywhere.
Yeah.
and he, like, happened to step, like, right on a paper.
Yeah.
And nothing happened.
And they were like, why did he wear shoes in the house? And then I feel like there was one other thing.
I know, I feel like there was too, and I don't remember what
but
it was.
That also didn't work.
Yeah.
So at the end, they're kind of like, well, fuck, like, let's just give up. Like, none of these things are working. And, so I use smoking, or Hana, and she offers her friend a cigarette, and they're smoking. The girl, her friend, like, throws the butt accidentally inside the chicken coop, which is full of hay.
Because they think her dad has arrived, and they get scared.
Oh, right.
Ends up being, like, a random person who just got lost.
Yeah. And then the chicken coop, or the hay inside the coop, like, lights on fire. And
chaos ensues.
They eventually put out the fire, but there is a chicken. I felt so bad.
I know, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Who runs into the forest on fire.
With its little tail end on fire, poor
baby.
Know.
And then they are like, well, let's just go to the beach, because
that's where you made out with boys.
Yeah. Like, you said we could relieve stress there. Like, let's...
Which, that scene also seemed kind of sexual to me. It was, like, weird, like, you said you can relieve stress there. Like, just the way they, like, worded it to each other was like, are y'all gonna make out with boys, or are you gonna make out with each other? Yeah. You can't tell. Either's fine, but I don't know what you're trying to tell us right now.
I thought the same, but I kind of think she meant with boys. But, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
Either way. They wanted to go make out with somebody.
Yeah.
Because they were, like, high school girls. They're dumb. And so they leave, and then we see the forest behind their house is on fire. And I'm like,
and they're totally oblivious, too. They're
yes.
just, like, trotting along on their way.
And I'm like, and so at that point, we're kind of like, oh, so they kind of did fuck over her dad, because his job as a forest fire watch-out man, so he probably has to deal with that.
And it's his own house.
Yeah, so it's like...
ultimate revenge. But also, like, I'm sure all of her shit is in there. Yeah,
it's like ultimate revenge / stupidity.
I fucked up.
Yeah.
And those poor chickens.
I know. Poor babes. But do you think there was, like, a deeper thing to this? Or do you think it was just, like, a short about, like, teenage, like, oblivion?
This one didn't confuse me or, like, make me think on a deeper level as much as the other two, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, same.
It seemed like two girls who were just upset with a parent and wanted to get back at them. And one that's, like, scared of authority and, like, wanting to follow the rules and afraid of getting in trouble. And the other one who seems to kind of, like, rebel. I mean, she's smoking, doing whatever she wants. She's out late at night. So.
To me, it kind of seemed like much lower stakes Heathers.
Yeah. Yes, agreed.
Like, there's one, like, very impressionable girl, and then there's, I mean, not in Heathers. In Heathers, it's a guy, but she's kind of, like...
egging her on, and...
Yeah. And, like, no, like, let's do it. And so that's kind of how I took that one. It was more just, like, a fun glimpse at the stupidity of youth and how, like, how sometimes unaware, like,
or you think,
people
like,
can be.
You think, like, I'm just gonna get them back, but it's not gonna be a big deal. And then it snowballs into a huge deal.
Yeah.
Because you just weren't actually thinking things through and what was happening.
Yeah. And then, I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh shit, this is probably why they delayed the release. Because there were a bunch of forest fires.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Around when this, like, in real life.
That makes sense.
That's terrible timing. Oh, God.
Yeesh.
But
I did feel a little bit nervous watching it at first, when they're, like, doing all the initial get back at him stuff, like waxing the floor and stuff, and I was like, what if he falls really hard and hits his head and dies? Yeah. And then, like, these two high school girls have to figure out what to do with this body, and it becomes dark really quick, but it didn't. The house just caught on fire. Yeah. And probably turned into a big deal, but we don't see that big deal.
Well, and we don't know that the house caught on fire. Just the forest behind the house. But yeah, we can maybe assume that it gets that bad. But yeah.
Depends on the weather, I guess, and
how
the
good
wind and
how good that girl's dad is
at catching it.
Well, and there were also some shots of him having like legal notices.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering if I could read Korean and understand Korean better, if there was more subtext to that too, because Netflix doesn't translate.
Yeah.
We just saw like legal notice.
Maybe that had to do with like behind on house payments or something.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe the fire potentially going to the house would actually be a good thing. Maybe. So there'd be no house. I don't know. Yeah,
because there was like, I think he had a book about like representing yourself in court and stuff like that. So there must have been something going on with that too. But yeah. Okay. The last one is called Walking at Night by Kim Jong-kwon.
A man and a woman take an evening stroll together and ruminate about dreams and their various past moments spent together, as well as death.
This one says, concerns, dreams, and things that might remain unspoken. So, this one was kind of sad.
It was, yeah.
But it was like really beautiful too, I think. This one, like it says, we see a man and a woman, and they're walking around at night, as the name would suggest. And they're just kind of like having conversations. And at some point we realize that the man is dreaming, and the girl is dead. Also, this is shot in black and white.
Yeah.
I really like the way it looks. The lighting is like really well done. And as, again, the Netflix synopsis says, they're kind of, like, walking around to different locations. And the guy realizes that she's dead, and he keeps, like, trying to grapple with that in his mind. And we learn that, he did go to her funeral.
And he didn't cry.
And he didn't cry, but we learned that he keeps blaming himself for her death. So, did she kill herself?
Yes.
Okay.
From the sound of it, she, like, jumped off of a building or, like, a bridge or something.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. But
yeah, she says something like, when I was falling, I didn't feel anything or something, not even when I hit the ground. Something like that.
Yeah.
And she tried her hardest to keep her mouth closed.
Yeah, because she didn't want to die with her mouth open.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, I think it's interesting that she used the word when I fell from that height. But then I thought, well, maybe that's just like a weird translation thing. Because usually I would think if she actually killed herself, they would use the word like when I jumped.
Or unless she was like contemplating up there and like feeling lonely. Because she talked about how like he didn't make her lonely, but a lot of other people made her feel bad and lonely. And so maybe she was up there sad and depressed or whatever and accidentally fell. I don't know.
Yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah, she didn't talk. I don't think she talks about whether or not it was intentional.
Okay. I was afraid I missed that at some point.
Yeah, I don't think she mentioned that.
Okay. So she died, and basically they keep going back and forth with her letting him know that it wasn't his fault, which I thought was good.
But also saying, like, you probably won't remember this.
Yeah.
And he's, like, telling himself, like, repeating it over and over again to try to remember. Like, oh, God.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's basically it. Like, they revisit some of their old places. They talk about, how much they really loved each other, how it wasn't his fault that she died, and how, like,
It's basically, like, the stuff you would want to hear from a loved one after they've gone, and, like, especially if you didn't know necessarily what happened or why, and, like, you're still questioning it and upset, like, that feeling of understanding and finally, like, feeling like you get it.
Yeah, like acceptance. Yeah. This one was very simple.
Very simple, very sad.
Yes. It was sad, but also not... It was, like, melancholy, I guess, because it was definitely sad. But I think it would also be that thing of, like, wanting to see that person, like, one last time.
Absolutely.
So it was, like, comforting in that way. But, yeah, it was also really sad.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting one to end on also.
Yeah. I wonder if the order of them has any meaning. I don't know.
Yeah, well, because I could kind of see, like, a progression with Love Set and then Collector and then The Walking at Night. But then Kiss Burn is just kind of thrown in there. Because all of them are about love.
Yeah.
Or
some form of love or...
possession.
Yeah, or obsession.
Yeah.
I guess you can, like, weirdly say, like, Love Set is the start of a young girl feeling something for somebody else, like, really strongly. And then it goes into giving yourself to someone fully and getting kind of taken advantage of with Collector. Getting revenge on said person, I don't know, and then dying.
Yeah.
It's weird. They all kind of fit in a strange way, but not really. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
I guess you could say, like, the unifying theme is love. Yes. Because with Kiss Burn, like, these two girls, they might not be, like, sexually in love with each other, but they obviously care a lot about each other. Like, female, or, like, friendship.
Absolutely.
The love of friendship. So, yeah.
And in the Collector, you have the man who's in love, or believes he's really in love
or
with
like
her.
the downsides, or maybe the difference between love and lust.
He was probably really in love with the woman he was engaged to, but wanted this girl because she was younger and maybe, like, quote unquote hotter, and seemed interested in him. I love that shot where he sees that woman at the cafe, and she's with someone new, and I'm like, good for you. And how, like, when he's in his little room, box. And she goes and sees him. But, yeah. So overall, I enjoyed it. Yeah, same.
But I was just sitting on my couch feeling confused a lot.
Yeah, I was laying in bed on my iPad watching. I was like, what? This isn't like any K-drama I've seen.
I know.
The two that I've seen.
And I think this was, like, a good eye-opening experience because I sometimes think about this, like, what we consume as K-dramas is, like, what is their, like, popular media.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm like, that's probably the same as them, like, watching Parks and Recreation and, like, I don't know, some other popular TV shows.
But there's so much more.
Right. And same thing with their movies. Like, of course, there are, like, indie films over there. There's indie music. They have, you know, they are a fully formed, like, culture. It's not just...
totally. Yeah.
You know. So I think that's good because I think sometimes things can be, like, if you're only seeing, like, one side to a culture, it can almost turn into, what's the word? It can be, like, oversimplified.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not, like, taken seriously. Like, oh, all they do is, like, K-pop and these, like, kind of...
They're just so cute.
Yeah, silly K-dramas. But it's like, no, like, there are also,
they have dark shit also.
There's a lot of issues over there also. Yeah. Like, it's not just all cute and, you know. So I like that part of it. I'm happy that Netflix could bring that side of Korean entertainment and art to a wider audience. Not just, like, cutesy dramas. Yeah,
I'm interested in seeing, like, a Korean horror film. Although I know you wouldn't be interested.
Well, I do. I really want to watch Train to Busan.
Okay.
Which is, like, a zombie movie. Because I'm okay with zombies. I don't like,
ghosts.
I don't like ghosts. And
spirits.
Yeah.
Demons.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. I'm okay with zombies.
Okay, cool. Weirdly. Yeah, I would be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, I'm okay with zombies and monsters.
Cool.
I don't, like demons and things like that. So.
Cool. Well, I would watch that movie.
Okay, that one's also on Netflix.
Cool. Okay.
So,
question.
Yes.
Out of these 4, is there one that you would love to see, like, long form? Like, as a full series on its own, or, like, as a film?
I was thinking about that, too. I would kind of like all of them. I think Love Set would be interesting.
Love Set gave me almost like a little Wes Anderson.
Same.
Yeah, just like the colors and the shots and stuff and their outfits.
And the kind of the way they talk to each other, too.
And then that one random white guy was almost like a Luke Wilson.
Yeah. I love how she was like, you can't do anything right. Like, fuck. Like, I told you to seduce her and you couldn't even do that. Like, you're useless.
And at one point she says something like, you can't even understand me. It's really funny. I would like to see that one, I think.
Yes. I think Walking in the Night, it would be hard to make a feature-length film of just that one concept. Like, you would maybe need to have a little bit before. Yeah. And a little bit after.
That would be almost like a 13 Reasons Why sort of vibe. Like, why did she die? How did she die? And, like, her telling of the story or whatever.
Yeah. But I also kind of think that would maybe change the vibe of it.
Yeah, totally.
I think that worked well as a short.
Kiss Burn would be cool to see these 2 girls interact more. And maybe, like, see them at school, too.
Yeah.
And get a better feel for their lives.
Yeah. They were just funny characters. And
they were silly.
I liked IU's character in that one. She was, like, really mischievous. Collector, I don't know if I could handle that.
Collector, I want to know what the fuck she is.
Yeah.
What her deal is.
Same.
And what are these little boxes? Where does she have, like, where do these boxes come from?
Oh, right.
What do those boxes mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I would, and I'm wondering if you, like, because she references, like, this yoga book, and I'm wondering if you knew more about, like, Hinduism or those practices, if it would make more sense. Because I know nothing about that stuff, so I'm like, maybe it does have, like, a deeper meaning if you knew more about those things. But I think I would like to see a full feature of Love Set.
Same.
I think my favorite was Walking in the Night as a short. And then I did really like Love Set, but it was just... I think it was maybe, like, 2 minutes too long.
Yeah, a little too repetitive of the actual
tennis. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't need to keep seeing her fail.
Over and over. I think my favorite short was Kiss Burn.
Yeah.
Even though the poor chickens.
Yeah. I think it was Walking in the Night, and then Kiss Burn, and Love Set as a very close. And Collector was just too much for me. I was so on edge the whole time because I was also afraid that he was going to kill her.
I could see that too.
Because I guess I'm just like, as a woman in the United States, afraid that men are always going to kill me.
When they don't get their way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I was thinking maybe he's the Collector because...
She's not giving him attention. She just kissed another dude. She went on vacation with 2 dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was happy it was her instead.
She's the killer. Interesting.
So.
That was cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, same. It was very different. But, like I said earlier, it was like a refreshing.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know or think I would watch something like that in English. You know what I mean? Like, I would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that, because like I said, I like to think of myself as being like...
and just never get around to it.
Exactly. Like,
funny.
There are so many, like, independent films where I'm like, that sounds really interesting. I'll get around to watching that someday.
Yeah.
Never. But, yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was a cool collection to watch after Romance, because Romance as a Bonus Book was just so cute and so fun and adorable, and like, this was the complete opposite. There were some funny, cute moments on Kiss Burn, but overall it had a completely different vibe. Yeah. So it was nice to have that break from like all the super cutesy stuff.
Like the fluff.
Yeah. We're just like, everything's okay. Like, we did it. In this one, like... the fucking collector, like, she did it. She collected his heart.
Yeah.
There we go.
And she just has a bag full of...
Who knows how many more at home, too.
Oh, God, that's true.
She probably has, like, a closet with shelves everywhere.
Uh-huh.
And they're all just...
Like,
labeled.
perfectly...
Yes. Ah.
Oh, speaking of romance as a bonus book, I was talking to my mom, and, I guess I can say this now. We were pronouncing Eunho's name wrong the whole time.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
Yeah, and she texted me, like, right after we finished recording the last episode.
Whoops.
Yeah, and I was like, I wish you would have told me earlier. And she was like, well, I just didn't want to be a bitch. And I was like, well...
We ask for corrections,
yes.
Mother. Send us those corrections.
Yes, please. So his name is Eunho. Which I was like, that makes so much sense. Because it was like, if his name was Yoon, it would be like Y-O-O-N.
Oh, okay.
Not. But in English, EU next to each other makes the U sound. Yeah. But it's Eunho.
Eunho. Okay.
So... Okay. There's a correction.
Sorry we fucked up.
Yeah, but Eunho, not Yoonho.
If we're ever saying somebody's name wrong, tell us immediately.
Please.
So we can address it the next episode and we'll learn from our mistake.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I guess if there's ever another name with E-U-N, we will know. Eunho. Okay. Other thing, my mom and her friend... did not like romance as a bonus book.
Oh.
Or they didn't hate it. They just thought it was kind of boring and there wasn't enough drama.
Yeah, there's definitely not really any drama. I mean, there's a big secret.
Yeah.
But there's not like...
It's kind of
there's not an M3 virus.
Yes, exactly.
It's about to kill people.
So she just... Her and her friends said that it was like just too much... Like, the stakes weren't high enough, and it was just kind of like, everyone's beautiful and cute, but it was kind of... And once you do start watching more K-dramas, like, that was probably the least dramatic K-drama I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. There wasn't anything that, like, had me shook. It was just like, oh, okay.
But it was nice. I thought it was still cute.
I enjoyed it.
So...
I think I enjoyed it a lot because Descendants was, like, so sandy. and like military uniforms and doctors' uniforms just constantly, you know. Romance is a bonus book. Again, everyone was so damn pretty.
Yeah, and the clothes were amazing.
You know, and
the office was
the office was great.
Cool.
And then those few little like dance moments that they had earlier in the season, like all of that was just really fun.
And Parkoon and Jillian.
Yes, yeah, agreed. Yeah. But I can definitely see why someone wouldn't like it for its lack of drama.
Yes. So, Jill and I were kind of talking about this off mic, but we're still trying to figure out which drama we're going to watch next. I think what we're going to do is do a K-drama My Eyes Out. Shout out to them. They're another K-drama podcast that I listen to. They will watch the first episode of a couple of dramas and then try to decide what they're going to watch after that. So I think we're going to watch Strong Woman Do Bong Soon. My First Life, and maybe one other. Okay. So, unlike previous weeks, we are recording this on the Sunday before the episode is about to...
Normally we're a couple weeks ahead.
Yes, but like I said, we had some stuff going on, so...
Life.
Yeah, I'm going to edit this and put it up right away, but please tweet us, or Instagram us, or Facebook us, or email us, and let us know if there's something you want to watch. Jill and I are kind of trying to decide whether or not we should alternate between, like, old classic drama. Classic is kind of the wrong word, maybe. Like, older drama, not one that is currently on the air.
Or about to premiere.
Yeah, or one that is on air at the time. Because I would like to show Jill some other dramas, but if you guys, like, really only want to listen to a podcast about dramas that are currently airing, like, I get that, and Jill and I can watch those on our own time.
I'll be honest, though, it's hard to watch other stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard to, like, fit in more dramas on top of the one we're doing, plus all of my other TV, because I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, and it's tricky. So, but yeah, let us know if you have a preference. If you don't, we'll figure something out, but, yeah. So, do you have any other things you want to... talk about?
No, I don't think so. If you've heard Egon this whole time, he's been croaking. That's his gig. Mm-hmm. So
he has a lot of thoughts about Persona.
I feel like we need to start doing what they do on My Favorite Murder with his name Elvis.
Elvis, yeah.
Yeah, where Elvis talks. Egon's just talking up a storm right now. A little annoying, but he's adorable, so.
Yeah. Okay, so we won't talk to you next week, but we will...
Or the week after, right?
Yes. But, again, stay tuned for the Korean vlog.
I'm ready for the vlog.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I'm like there in spirit.
Alternating between excitement and anxiety, but it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm excited. So, again, follow us on Twitter at OKDramaPod, Instagram at OKDramaPodcast, Twitter or Facebook OKDramaPodcast, email us okdramapodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to, you can preemptively subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is also OK Drama Podcast. And because that's where we will primarily be posting the vlog. And yeah, so
you'll probably do some Insta stories too, right?
Yes. So follow us on Instagram for that also. I'll make a little collection or whatever.
Do like the little highlights.
Yes, highlights. So cool. Yes. Okay, so stay tuned for all of that, and until next time, bye.
Okay, drama.